Good morning. This video is a VR for Hazel Macca, who's having a significant birthday soon. The challenge was instigated by Ruth Burr in collaboration with Sonya Stepto. They got their heads together and Ruth put out a challenge to people to get involved in wishing Hazel a lovely birthday. And the requirements for it were to make her a small handmade gift, a card, and send them off to her in time for her birthday. Generosity of spirit, wherever it shows itself, needs to be acknowledged. Precious commodity that I think we could do a lot more in our world, and those that have that natural inclination towards generosity of spirit are to be treasured. What I've done for sending are these little gadgets, and I know, and I've seen the VR from Silly Eels, and she's created a gorgeous knitted hedgehog. I'd already picked out all my purple and pink pens to put in this little knitted pin cushion, and I was going to put it aside and think, no, I won't duplicate, but I like hedgies too, and to be honest, I don't think you can ever have too many. And Silly Eels hedgie was made to be cuddled, and mine definitely isn't, so there's differences. Raided all my pins to put all the pink and purple ones in, because I believe they are purple is one of her favourite colours. I'm just sorry there weren't more purple, but there we are. She's retracted all her pins and she's ready for postage. I've also made this little charm collection, and that's just a bunch of different things I was playing around with and using up some bits and pieces. So the Swarovski crystals and little flower beads, and gosh, is that an absolute real diamond? Who can say? There's a little lucky heart there. I'll just zoom in a little bit. I also made one of Sonya's Stepto's little buttonhole rings, which is there, just very plain. It reminds me, I had some in my button box from my grandmother, my great-grandmother, somebody. I think back in the day, these sorts of buttons were often made to put on articles of sort of underwear, personal apparel, holding the waistband of a petticoat, that sort of thing, because they were nice flat buttons and you could make them at home. You didn't need to try and source other buttons, and they're low profile, so you can wear them under. So it was interesting to go back there. I added a little resin rose to the back of that, and so if she doesn't use those herself, that'd be something for her to gift. So that's the charms, that's the hedgie, and the other thing was this crochet hook roll, because I think I read somewhere that she loves to crochet, though when I looked at her channel it didn't mention it. But anyway, it's something she can gift if she doesn't use it. And I just have to point out, I've added one of my mother's buttons. This is rather precious. This is my second to last one, my penultimate Flurry Button from my mother's stash. It reminds me very much of the Margaret Preston sort of lino cuts. I don't know if it's Australian or if it's I don't know anything about it, except that they're quite domed, they're glass. I also know they're very fragile, so I put one on a dear friend's iPhone case that I crocheted for her some years ago, and it promptly fell in half. The back came off, and it looks quite odd at the back. It looks sort of quite old, and but anyway, I think they're precious, and I've put it on there because I think Hazel also likes vintage things. I just hope it lasts. Whoops, we're losing some here. I'll just slip this off so we can see. Take it off might be a better idea. and inside is the crochet hooks. Now I've just put some of mine in so that you can see everything from small to quite giant fits nicely, and the small ones can be doubled up so that they stay more snugly. I was going to vary the size of the channels and sort of didn't. So I've put those in just to see how it rolls up, and it rolls up quite nicely. I'll take them out again because if Hazel crochets she'll have her own hooks. And on this side I did a collage on Photoshop. I'm trying to come to grips with Photoshop, and when you get to my age, new computer programs take a bit of coming to grips with, let me tell you. Though I'm getting more familiar with it and beginning to find things more easily to navigate around. There's a little bird, there's some crochet cotton, there's a French letter, there's a frame, there's curtains, lace curtains, sort of crochet curtains, and a butterfly, and down here is hazelnuts and leaves with 4 hazel on it, if you can see that. The bird's crown has got beads and jazzed up, so these little multicoloured little numbers in his crown are part of a necklace from my grandmother. There's a dragonfly up in this corner that I have beaded the tail from, and ooh, is it going to focus? No. There we go. I've beaded that. I've got a bit of a crystal there and some little brown bead eyes. And the bee, I used some holographic thread that I've got, and I just stitched along the lines of the wings and around the edges of the wings, and you can see there it's given it a real shimmer. Looks quite effective. Okay, this whole collage I used Sonya's freezer paper transfer onto some white lawn, and that's what this panel is. I use that method. Works a treat, goes through the printer really well, gives you a nice image. I normally do it onto calico. This time I did it onto white lawn because I wanted it to be a bit finer. And so that's that. That's the roll. I'll probably leave that flat to post it. And so that's my little gift to Hazel. I hope she has, it wants to stay flat, so let's leave it flat. Hope she has a wonderful birthday, and thanks to Ruth for thinking of it, and to Sonya for getting involved, and thanks to everyone for watching. See you soon. Bye now.